So Lewis Hall is not going to the World Cup, but it has nothing to do with Eddie Howe and everything to do with Thomas Tuchel. Lewis Hall is the best English left-back in the Premier League. He is a fantastic footballer. I watch him every single week, on the ball, off the ball. He is a superb left-back. The idea that he is not going to the World Cup is, to be honest, it's batshit crazy. Generally thought he was probably starting at the World Cup as well, which makes it even crazier to me that he's not made the team. Fans online are trying to now use this as a stick to beat Eddie Howe with. I think Thomas Tuchel is his own man. He is not picking Dan Burn over Lewis Hall, as some of our fans are trying to say, just because Eddie dropped Lewis Hall for a game or two and put Dan Burn at left back. Dan Burn is not going to the World Cup as a left back. Thomas Tuchel has selected him as one of the best centre-backs in the country. It's nothing to do with Lewis Hall. Why make that association at what's going on at club level? Lewis Hall was admittedly run out of steam a little bit towards the end of the season. That's why Eddie's dropped him a bit. And I will admit that Eddie has used Lewis Hall as a scapegoat for his own tactical defensive failures, as in Eddie's defensive failures, far too often. And I do think that's happened a bit recently as well, combined with Lewis Hall's exhaustion. But that's because Lewis Hall has been playing so much. So because Eddie's been playing him. So we can't say that Eddie Howe has cost Lewis Hall his place. Eddie Howe's been playing Lewis Hall all season. For whatever reason, Thomas Tuchel feels that there are better players in England, at least 2 or 3 better than Lewis Hall, which I think is absolutely mad, because Lewis Hall can also play in different positions if you need him to as well. He can move up the pitch. He had to be trained to be a left back, for starters. He can also play on the right, we've seen. Admittedly, Nottingham Forest got a goal against us because Lewis Hall was playing on the right, though, because he's on his wrong foot. But Lewis Hall should be playing. Thomas Tuchel, you've lost your mind. There's other players who aren't in the squad who I think should be. My interest is mostly in our Newcastle players. So the idea that Lewis Hall isn't going, but Tino Livramento is mad to me. Both of them really, if they carry on the progression and development, they will be England starters, both of them, either side, either flank. Lewis Hall has been miles ahead of Tino Livramento. I know they're getting picked for different positions in the squad, but you tell me 2 or 3 left-backs, English left-backs, who have been better than Lewis Hall this season. You won't name them. Tino Livramento has been out of form since Christmas. Now, some people are trying to say, oh, it's because he's, his mind's gone. He's a Man City player, or now he's an Arsenal player. No, he's just been injured. He's been off the pace, and he hasn't done his defensive duties. He's been lazy. The fact that he's going to go to a World Cup and Lewis Hall isn't is driving me mad. I think Lewis Hall should have been our player of the season. Eddie Howe has a lot to answer for this season, and I didn't like how he dropped Lewis Hall in the last few games. However, Eddie Howe has had nothing to do with Lewis Hall not being taken to the World Cup. It's nothing to do with him.